Thank you for being here and chilling with me here on the show to start up a brand new streaming week on DSPGaming. What's up? Hopefully you had a good Saturday away. I had a good day overall. Some stress, some annoyances. We'll maybe talk about that today, time permitting. I don't know how interested you are in hearing about my private stuff. No one cares. All you care about is what's here, prominent in front of the camera. Who gives a crap about what happens outside of my studio? It's boring. My life is very boring, trust me. So, let's just start right from the beginning of the hottest issue. What I want to talk about first is the fact that in the last week, I have put up some interesting edited highlight videos here on DSPGaming, okay? So, let's talk about this, because this is something that's been discussed ever since the fall. The viewers were very confused. They were like, wait a minute, there's like no archive streams up on your channel. We can't seem to find your latest content. And I'm like, oh, it's because I do things differently. You know, I've been an 18-year running YouTuber. I used to do videos before anyone even live streamed. So I break out these on-demand videos and I upload them separately with thumbnails and titles. I put them in playlists, and that's how you can watch my content if you can't be there live. To which the response was, we're confused. And to be honest, other people already do that. They're called detractors who steal my content. All right, we're not talking, oh, a fan of mine does it. No, people literally, as I'm live broadcasting, are re-streaming and copying and saving my content so they can clip it out and upload it to their personal channels with no commentary, no criticism. They're just stealing my content raw and profiting off of it. Okay? So people said, well, why don't you just do it for yourself? And to be honest, all right, there's a couple things that kind of hold me back from actively doing this, or at least doing it as quickly as I wanted. The primary thing is, it's very hard to find someone that you can trust. And what I mean by that is, over the years, I've had a lot of different people who have helped me in various different capacities, whether it's someone who was just a moderator on my stream, someone who moderated my forums back when I used to have them, a webmaster who actually used to run a website for me. Then I have people who help me with my technical setup, with some thumbnails, with video editing, with cutting down my streams, with all this kind of stuff. And, you know, the thing is, like I always say in life, it's kind of like a revolving door where not everyone has all this time to be helpful to you. I'm grateful for anyone who comes by and helps me out in any capacity, but it's not always possible. Sometimes they'll be here, then they can't be here, then they come back later. You know how it goes. I don't have time to sit around, cut down, edit out, and make highlight montages of my own content. I mean, I already do all of the thumbnails and uploading for my content. I don't have time to do highlights too, okay? And so who do you trust, right? Do you rely on someone who is kind of like someone who you consider maybe like a friend behind the scenes? Or do you pay someone to do it? All right? So here's the truth. It took a while for me to try to figure this out. And finally, I, you know, after having talked to certain people or whatever, made a determination. So starting about a little over a week ago, I quit Street Fighter 6. And you might say, what? Yeah, I rage quit it. I had enough of it. To be honest with you, I just don't like the game that much anymore. It was fun the first year to year and a half. I just don't enjoy it that much. It really is a very frustrating endeavor for me to play it. And I said, I got too many other things I want to do. I'm done with this for now. So I dumped it. And I said, well, if I'm going to dump it, let's dump it in epic style. And I had someone make me a cool montage of that stream, of me getting my butt handed to me with E-Honda and me essentially crashing out, rage quitting it, and saying, I'm done with this game. It was done in an entertaining manner, lots of editing and effects and transitions and the like. And it was about a 20-minute video. People liked it. All right. It's been up for over a week now. It's got almost 4,000 views. So pretty good. And the thing is, I didn't tell anyone I was going to do it. I didn't tell anyone that I was working on it. Now, let's be clear. Am I the person making these videos?
No.
Am I paying someone to professionally make these videos?
Yes, I am.
So, that's why they look so good. You know, do I have video editing experience and capability? Yes, I do. Do I have the time or means to learn to the extent that this person knows and do it that good? No, I don't. So, they're just doing much better work than I could pump out, okay? And so I put both of those out, and admittedly, I wanted to do this as kind of a litmus test, right? If I do highlights of gameplay versus drama stuff, what would happen? Because let's be honest, this video right here is drama. This is me raging, crashing out, and quitting Street Fighter 6, and everyone loves drama. So of course, that does nearly 4,000 views in the week that it's live, right? So then I said, how would these videos do? As you can see, they did almost equally. Basically, a good audience of people checked it out to see the montage of what I'm doing in these games, and I'm curious, you know, will this work for every new release that I do? Would it give some more attention to what I'm doing? However, what I like to do is direct your attention to the raw gameplay videos below. As you can see, they're not doing very well. All right, you might say, well, is it a result of the games? I don't think so. The games are absolutely great, okay? But I don't know if it's people are just stealing my content and getting my footage up immediately before I can. I don't know if it's because I put up these montages that people just watched the montages and said, oh, now I don't have to watch the raw gameplay. I don't know. But for new releases, these are not doing well at all when it comes to the on-demand views, to be honest. I mean, this has been live almost 3 days, and it doesn't even have 500 views. That's pretty bad for a video game playthrough, okay? Just being honest with you. You can even take a look at current playthroughs I'm doing, like Pokemon Fire Red and other things. They're doing better. So why these two new games particularly aren't taking off with on-demand views, I have no idea. Other games that I'm playing are doing well, so it is a little confusing. All right, but notably, the one I would really like to direct your attention to is a video that I released 15 hours ago that absolutely no one expected, and I even talked about not even doing last week, okay? As you can see, the latest highlight video from DSPGaming is my broken down, put together, edited thoughts on the Quartering versus Kino Casino feud that is currently going on right now, okay? So you might say, well, wait a minute, Phil shared his thoughts about that? When the hell was that? You may not even be aware. Fair enough, it's because I talked about it on my morning show on Friday. So unless you were here live for the morning show and you saw it in its entirety, you probably had no idea that I even discussed the topic. Okay, so a really weird thing happened yesterday, okay? For the record, this video had already been done, and then yesterday on my day off, I dropped the highlight video of my thoughts about this internet feud, okay? As I dropped the video, okay, the weirdest thing happened. It actually very quickly, not for a long time, but for a very short period of time, it hit the algorithm. And a couple YouTubers actually watched it right as it went live. I mean, one of my, I think his name is Camelot. He watched the video when it had less than 300 views, so it had just gone live, like within half an hour, and he watched it and reacted to it, and he liked it, and then that sent his viewership over to check it out. And then more people checked it out. And then more people checked it out. Now, what's funny is you might say, oh, viral popularity? Are you kidding me? The video has 3,700 views. That's not viral popularity, okay, at all. But for the first time in ages, people on the internet saw one of my videos, said, oh, I'll check this out. And if you actually check out the video, you'll see hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes. People are like, oh, I really like this video. Phil has a good take. He's intelligent with the way he's speaking about the subject. The editing is good, because the editor, for the record, put in supplemental information. So for example, when I'm saying, oh, I had an interview with the quartering, he showed a clip of me being interviewed by the quartering. When I'm talking about working with Kino Casino, he has the clip playing. When he talks about things that the quartering has done or the casino has done, he superimposes that over the screen so you can see the information I'm addressing live on the screen. So to be honest, that clip is better than watching the raw show because it has more information added to it that makes it better, if that makes sense. Look at that. So the video's been live for 15 hours and currently has 3,800 views and climbing. Okay? So that's cool. Now, to be honest, I don't really think that I have a polarizing or strong take on the subject. I don't take sides in this take if you haven't seen it yet. I personally don't like Kino Casino, but also I'm honest about what I think about what's going on with the situation with the quartering. I also don't bring up any personal shit at all in it, which is funny because it seems like everyone else who talks about this topic has to bring up all this personal shit and like all this drama, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm just gonna talk about the situation, okay? So if you're interested in it, give it a look. You might enjoy it, okay? You might not, but hopefully you will. Moving forward, will I continue to do highlight clips like this? Yes. So far, I'm pleased with the results. However, all right, I'll be honest here. You know, this is initial results, and I do hope that they get better, right? Like right now, having a highlight clip that did 3,000 views, 1,000 views, that's negligible, and it's not going to help the channel, okay? It's not. If I just do highlights and they get a couple thousand views each, it's really not a big deal, okay? What I really need is these views to start pulling in numbers, like 10,000 views, right? If I get 10,000 views every highlight clip, I'll actually start to get a new viewer base that will come watch my content. That's the goal. Will it ever get to that? That, honestly, is dependent on the YouTube algorithm and on people actually checking out these highlights. Because here is my fear, all right? These will start to get lost in the shuffle. Here's the actual raw video where I talked about the Kino Casino quartering situation, 475 views. So my opinion on that went from 475 views to 3,800 views and climbing, because I did a highlight video, okay? So I uploaded the morning show. I uploaded 3 parts of Pragmata. Then I uploaded more gameplay on the late stream, right, which was Crimson Desert, 2 videos of Crimson Desert that are in this playlist. And then I did the daily wrap. And then at the end of the day, I uploaded the Pragmata montage, right? And this poses a problem, because if I'm uploading these highlights and it's the last upload of the day, at the very least, it'll get that little bit of boost of views because it is the last one of the day. But at the same time, if I've uploaded all those videos on that day, people might not see the highlight, right? So it's challenging. I'm really not sure what to do, all right, about it. Some people have suggested make a separate channel. That's an easy thing to say, but to make a new channel from scratch to try to build up a subscriber base, a viewer base to get it to even qualify for monetization is an arduous task in this modern era when you're not big, and I'm not big, okay? You might say, why don't you just repurpose one of your other channels? I could take DSP Throwback, and I could repurpose it to be DSP Highlights or DSP Clips or the King's Court or something like that, right? And then that could be that channel, admittedly. But that means sacrificing that channel, meaning if I ever want to go back to it, it's not that anymore, right? That also means that I have to redirect people to it, which could be a challenge, all right? And it means completely rebranding the channel and getting you guys to check out a channel that's basically brand new a third time, all right? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of questioning what to do moving forward. I like that the highlights seem to be working, but I don't know what to do with them. I'm pleased with the quality. First off, that's actually a question I would like to ask everyone, okay? What do you think about the quality of these highlights? Have you enjoyed the quality?